Hello there and welcome to another Green Card Back Star Wars action figure review. Today we're looking at another figure from the Mandalorian Retro Collection wave, the main antagonist of the series so far, Moff Gideon of the Imperial Remnant. The Mandalorian story escalates dramatically at the end of Season 1 with the arrival of Moff Gideon, and his presence casts a long shadow over Season 2. A cunning and intelligent leader on the field, and not too shabby in either hand-to-hand combat or behind the stick of a TIE fighter, Moff Gideon's reputation gets an even bigger boost when it's revealed that he wields the Darksaber, the Mandalorian symbol of leadership. Whilst he is eventually thwarted by none other than Luke Skywalker, in a sequence that still, to this day, moves me to tears, Moff Gideon's the kind of antagonist that Star Wars needs, and I hope we see more of him in the future. So here is the Retro Collection Moff Gideon. In hand, one of the first things I noticed is how much he puts me in mind of a vintage Darth Vader. He's tall, mostly black with silver highlights on the switches of his chest armour, and he even shares the same style of black vinyl cape. I imagine that the resemblance must have occurred to Hasbro's designers when they came to putting the character into this line. As you would imagine, the vinyl cape is removable, and here you can see the back of Gideon's armour. Whilst the human Retro Collection figures tend to follow the vintage trend of not particularly resembling the character's actor, Hasbro have actually done a pretty decent job with Moff Gideon. Yes, it's simplified, but there's definitely something of Giancarlo Esposito to this figure. As a vintage style 5POA action figure, you know exactly what kind of articulation to expect. We have a swivel neck, swivel shoulders, and swivel hips. Moff Gideon comes packed with two accessories. One is his blaster pistol, which is cast in a solid black plastic and has a decent sculpt, although it's perhaps a little too detailed for a vintage aesthetic. He can hold this firmly in his right hand. His second accessory garners a little more attention. It is the Mandalorian Darksaber. This is simply the lightsaber that came with the Bespin Luke Skywalker figure, cast in a light grey plastic. Gideon holds this securely in his left hand. The articulation might be limited, but if you tool him up with both weapons and billow out his cape, the Retro Collection Moff Gideon looks suitably badass on display. And here you can see Gideon next to his wave mate, the Retro Collection Mandalorian, and the Retro Collection Boba Fett. The Retro Collection Moff Gideon is another surprise of the line. He's not the most fun or playable figure, but he's well made and looks every bit like a leader of your vintage Imperial Remnant. And now I have him, I am definitely in the market for a vintage TIE fighter to put him with. That is all for today. If you have any questions about the Retro Collection Moff Gideon, or if you have it yourself and would like to share your thoughts, then leave a comment down below. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned because there'll be more Star Wars action figure reviews coming up soon. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.